Marcus C. Williams here. So, as we all go out, the primary is this year, right about now, and many people are running for election. So, if you haven't voted yet, you should go out and vote. It's important. Now, when somebody is elected and they're in office, they're supposed to represent you if they're in your district or your area. For instance, I was just at the coffee shop, I was doing some work, and then my elected representative for my county legislative district walked in looking all weird and looking like she was eyeballing me and stuff. It was weird and kind of uncomfortable, but that's neither here nor there. But I don't care. So I'm finishing up my work, and then I get ready to go out and I go leave, and my hey Joe, I see you there. And my county ledge person is sitting outside at a table with her computer. So my county ledge person is Carolyn Delvechio Hoffman, right? So I live in the 25th district in the city of Rochester in Monroe County. Now, my representative has consistently voted against policies that would support public safety. They have voted against policies that would limit drugs in our community. And as we see in the 25th district, we have a ton of crime, tons of break-ins, tons of house invasions, carjackings out the wazoo, and we just have all of this very serious crime and violence. We've got more overdoses than almost any ledge district in the city. It's really starting to get out of hand. We're in like the top 3 of all overdoses in the ledge districts in the city. It's very, very bad where we are. So as I'm walking by her, I said, "Hey, Carolyn, please do something about the crime and the drugs and the public safety." And she said, "Oh, Marcus, uh, it's inappropriate and I don't feel comfortable. And I'm going to go inside." And so she walks inside, and it's like as she's making fun of the fact that the people in my community are suffering, because I've lived in in that ledge district for a large portion of my life. And it's like, and she's a transplant, and if you listen to people tell it, she don't even really live there, but that's a whole separate conversation. But it's like she's completely disconnected from the majority of the people that live there. We do have 2 nice areas, like Cornhill is very nice, and we got a little part of the South Wedge in that district. But the rest of it is not so good. So there's a lot of crime and a lot of drugs. So I'm asking my elected representative very nicely, in a very nice tone, docile tone, very just exactly like this. I said, "Please, Carolyn, do something about the crime and public safety and the drugs." And she's like, "Oh, Marcus." And it's just so frustrating because of the way in which it came off. It was a snotty, sedity, uppity way, if you guys understand. I'm sure many of you do. Um, and she's like, "Oh," with a laugh, right? This is what was frustrating. "Yes, Josh, do something now." She's with a laugh. "Oh, Marcus, I don't feel comfortable. I'm going inside." But first of all, if you don't feel comfortable, you're not laughing and guffawing when you say something, like when somebody's trying to address a serious issue with you in public, in open display of many, many, many other people. All of the people at this venue, I can assure you, 90+% of them were white liberals. Okay. 90+% of them were white liberals. Okay. I bet you out of those 90 something percent, most of them were far leftists. Okay. And that's a very serious thing, right? Because those are your people. And it was a ton of people there. It's like 30, 40 people there, right? Okay. And we're out in public. And you're talking about you don't feel comfortable with me engaging with you. I've left multiple phone calls on your, on your answering machine. And it's not just me that she doesn't return calls to. She doesn't return calls to anybody. And if you guys saw my video from about a month or 2 ago, I did go down to her office to try to schedule a meeting. So this is very, very serious. And it's like she doesn't even care. Like she's laughing it off like it's nothing. Now, I know I've engaged with many of the people in Cornhill, and they're like, oh, it's safe here. I feel like everything is safe. I've lived here however long, and crime isn't a real thing to me, and blah, blah, blah. Forget the rest of the community. I feel safe here. That's understandable, right? Because you as an individual, it's fine for you to feel however you feel wherever you are, but you should acknowledge the way that other people are experiencing life if you are an elected representative who's elected to serve them, right? Like she's just not Joe off the street. She is an official who is representing me in government. She is an official who is representing my people, my district that I have grown up in, that I have lived almost half my life, and probably a little more than half my life in. You understand what I'm saying? Do you know how offensive that type of an engagement was? And she like laughed. It's like laughing in my face about the crime and the devastation in my community. I want to know how many people she's had to apply Narcan to. Okay? Because in the past 2, 3 years, not even 3 years, past 2 years, I've had to apply it over 7 times in my district. In my district. Like we're not talking outside my district. In my district. Because these drug addicts walk up and down the street and you see more and more of them every single day. The homeless drug addled population in there. They've got like the little Peace Village or whatever they're calling it. That's right by what's that? Broad Street. I guess that's Broad Street, or I'm not sure, Ford Street, whatever street that is, like right by the overpass on the 49, or is that 390? Anyway, right over there, not too far from the stadium. And it's a very serious issue. The crime, businesses up and down the street are moving out in vast numbers. They've been broken into continuously over and over again. You can go down the street, down West Main or any of the side streets over there right now, and you'll see broken glass from car windows on the ground right now. You understand? If you go and you go look at the crime, you'll see, go look at the crime blotter or go look at one of the crime groups on the city. You'll see that large numbers of a large amount of the crime that's going on is in our county ledge district in the 25th district. Like just because there's a nice area or whatever the case is, doesn't mean that you neglect everybody else. And that is a very serious problem and a grand offense when you're an elected official. She's up for election right now. There's somebody running against her and they're nowhere to be found. I don't know where they are, if she scared them off or if they paid her off or whatever the case was. But my community is suffering. Our people are suffering. And she votes no on every measure for public safety in the county ledge. She doesn't care about the drug addicts or the drugs in our community. She votes no on everything for services for them. What the heck is going on? And then the sheer audacity. I was aghast. You understand what I'm saying? Like the level of interaction that she just had with me made me horrified. Like I was awestruck by her engagement. How are you going to be like, oh, Marcus. Oh, Marcus, are you serious? Oh, Carolyn, do something about the crime and violence. You know, it's inappropriate. What's inappropriate? For me to redress my grievances with my elected official who I've gone to your office, I've called you multiple times, left multiple voicemails, and you don't return phone calls? And again, it's not just me. It's other people in the community that have reached out to me and be like, hey, she doesn't return my phone calls. I'm like, I know she doesn't return my phone calls either. It's a serious issue. It's very bad when this is the way that an elected official performs. And then they take your life experiences and what you've gone through as if it's some sort of a joke. They broke out my window to try to steal my car, you know what I'm saying? And that put me back because they tried to break in and take my car. So for a while, it limited my mobility and stuff like that and make it difficult for me to get places and things like that and all types of stuff. And, you know, like so many people's cars are being broken into or carjacked. And like that is life or death for some people. I know people who have lost their job because their car has been stolen. Like, are you serious? Like, you think this is a game? You think this is some sort of a joke? You think that because it doesn't affect you, that you're not supposed to look out for the best interests of your community? And then the crazy thing is that she calls herself a socialist, right? So socialists are supposed to be for the greater good or the greater whole, right? So the greater majority of the people in the district that she represents, number wise, predominantly, are working class and in poverty. So you're completely ignoring what their life experience is, what's going on, because you don't care, because you don't really represent those people, but you play pretend. And that's one of my largest issue with these fake socialists, bro, and these fake communists. If you're gonna be communist or you're gonna be socialist, and those are your policies, and that's what you actually truly believe, prove it. You don't care about the community. The crime is running rampant. The majority of the community is concerned for their safety, even though there are enclaves in which they feel that everything is perfectly safe and fine. But this is what you're supposed to take action of and address. You should be able to engage with any of your elected officials outside in public, right? Because they're elected to serve you. It's a weekday, right? So it's a day during the week. This isn't a Saturday or a Sunday. It's a day during the week. You represent me. It's working days. You understand what I'm saying? That's not how things work. Okay, so for you to say and act, react, and interact with me on that level is unacceptable, especially after you haven't returned my calls. Multiple calls. And you guys saw the video where I went down to her office to attempt to get an appointment. And they're like, oh, well, you got to call and leave her a voicemail. She'll never return calls. Never. I left her about 3 or 4 voicemails. It might have been 5. But it's so frustrating, you guys. These are our elected officials, and people that are in the community have to start holding them accountable. People are going to have to start running against these ingrates, right? Like, they don't care about you. They really don't, and their policies show it. But you got to hold them accountable. Once they're elected, you got to engage with them. You got to tell them what's what. Say, hey, this is the issues that I'm experiencing in my community, and you might have to track them down. Okay, you might have to go all dog the bounty hunter and find them. Okay, where they are. So for instance, like me and my assembly person, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. We don't have any issues in interacting and engaging. And he's on a higher level than she is, and he's one that's passing and signing a lot of the laws that are extremely problematic. You know, we've got my senator is Jeremy Cooney. He's honestly pretty receptive, so I give that to him. He's good and responsive, and I don't have any engagement issues with him at all. So props to him on that. Credit where credit's due. You know. But then I'll engage with other people, like I'll engage with other working family or democratic socialist aligned people or whatever. Like I can engage with Kim Smith. I can engage with Stanley Martin. I can engage with Ashley. I can engage with all of these people, but I can't engage with. Why? Why is that? What is the problem? In an open spot, in an open space, and look at me, I'm so super sexy. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not dressed all thuggish, or like I'm a knock around guy, or like I'm about to jump on somebody, or whatever the case is, you know? So nothing would give you such an idea or a concept of that. So it just goes to show how much of a joke it really is to some of our elected officials that they really do not give a daggone about us. And it's all about them. It's all about their self-aggrandizement. And it's time that you, as the public, as citizens, okay, hold your elected officials accountable for their job and for their position. And you really got to start paying attention to the bills and the laws that they're passing. And if you live in the city, and if you're interested in getting involved, reach out to me. I'll do my best to help guide you and help you know who's representing you, and tell you who's in charge of which part of the laws that are causing the issues that you're seeing in your neighborhood or community, or even just the things that you'd like to see addressed, because these people out here don't really care, man. And until you start continuously engaging with them, knocking on their doors, sending them emails, sending them phone calls, nothing's going to get done. And it's their job. They are elected to serve us, we, the people. And a lot of them are not doing it. And they think that you're some sort of a game, some sort of a plaything, that they can go and they can try to gain your vote and then they don't have to address the issues that you're having. You understand what I'm saying? Hold your elected representatives accountable. Don't let them play in your face, okay? And make sure that when you have engagements with elected officials where they want to act like they're in elementary school, that you let people know how these grown adults that are supposed to be elected officials are behaving. They're behaving worse than the children. And then we wonder why the children running around acting crazy. And that's all I got for right now, because it's just really like I'm still processing what just happened because it's so baffling. And like, well, it's not really, right? Because she's exactly who she presents herself to be, full of malarkey. She doesn't, it's shown in her votes, what she votes for on the county ledge, that she does not care about my community that I've lived the majority of my life in. It's sad, disappointing. And I really wish that her opponent that is supposed to be running against her wouldn't have disappeared into vaporous air. Okay. Also, shots fired at Dorian Hall, because last year, the year before last, when she was running last time, he was running against her and then really gave up. And I like that dude a lot. Okay. But it's man, we can't let these elected officials continue to get away with this. They need to be voted out. And when they're in office, they need to be held accountable. And that's up to you. I'll catch you guys later. You be blessed, be well. And remember, stand up, speak up, and don't shut up.